Hello, friends. How are you? I hope you had a beautiful week. It's a nice day to be here for this weekly appointment. Um, so today I wanted to chant with you a chant that is very, very simple. It's called Resting God. And I've been thinking about how it's so vital more than ever that, we keep coming back to that center. No matter what happens outwardly, no matter what our life brings us, if we are able to stay close to that center, even if maybe we're not always right there, but we're close, and we remember to come back to it as life happens over time, then we're able to really stay grounded in what is real, and we're able to see circumstances and things, and even hard things that happen to us, in a completely different perspective, because we're able to actually see that, as long as we're anchored in our true divine nature, everything outside, as hard as it might be, it's just a dream, and you can see that more and more. So I have, as always, I posted the words for you next to the video or below the video. I never know where they are. So please join me. The chant is very simple. And also, as always, important thing, I am really starting the process of recording my next album. And so there's going to be a lot of different decisions to make and things to do. So if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing with that, the best way is to go to that link that you see there and subscribe to my mailing list, because that's where I send out first-hand information about everything. Facebook, it's more hit and miss. You may or may not see it, but an email, it's a lot more likely that you'll see it, hopefully. So anyway, here we go. Rest in God, and let's just feel this centeredness in our hearts, and let's just dwell there. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His love, in His love. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His joy, in His joy. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light. Rest in God, living God, in His light, in His light, in His light, in His light. Let's take this time to really rest in God. No places to go, no things to do, just being in this joyful presence in your heart. Feel all thoughts, all concerns melting away as the awareness of this presence grows deeper and stronger. Feel that you are one with this presence. You are not your worries, your challenges. They just come to make you stronger and to make you more receptive to this divine presence in you. And let's all try to make a vow to ourselves for this coming week that no matter what happens, no matter what comes, we will do our best to stay centered in the presence of God in our hearts. And if we feel being pulled away from it, let's resolve to go back to it as soon as we catch ourselves. Whether by chanting, praying, meditating, whatever helps us. Let's do our best to not spend too much time away from it. And as soon as we catch ourselves being farther away, let's just do whatever it takes to bring us back. May we all rest and live in God. Om, peace. Amen. Thank you, friends, for joining me. It's good to see you. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being part of this. And so I will see you next week. I hope you have a beautiful week. And just we're doing our best. And that's all that really matters. So it's directional. We're getting closer and closer to God, to our soul's nature. So let's keep it up. Blessings, my friends. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.